Peace, love, and light. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Guide, The Daily Vibe, hosted by yours truly, Pretty Boss. I'm recording this message on Thursday, December 21st at 7:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is spiritual guidance, insight, prophetic gems for those who are in alignment with these particular messages. This is for those of you who are devoted to your purpose. This is for those of you who've been seeking independence from the matrix. This is for those of you who've been looking and painting and coloring outside of the lines. Those of you who've transformed so much that at some moments you might not even really truly be able to verbalize that which you desire, because it is so far removed from that which you were once connected or attached to. Your heart portal is open, whoever this message is for. And have faith that you can trust that. Have faith that every single answer that you've been seeking and that you've been searching for, you're going to find within yourself. Even certain information that really sticks out is like, yes, this is truth. I feel it. In the midst of that, you're going to find puzzle pieces, but you're going to find that complete puzzle inside of yourself. The things that you're going to be coming across, the things that you're going to be researching, studying, hearing, or finding you are actually going to be guides. It's like they're going to be clues, right? They're going to be indicators to point you right back to yourself, to where you can really uncover that truth that will set you free, that truth that will liberate you from this earthly bondage. Whoever this is for, you have a different expectation, for lack of better words. Expectation isn't even truly the word that I'm looking for, because for those of you who this is for, there's an aspect of you who has become detached from the norm. Okay? It's not that you're not connected, right? It's almost like together but not mixed. We're talking about the type of people, the type of person that you know how to interact with others. You know how to relate to others. You can come down or up or whatever you want to call it to other people's levels. But you are very grounded and rooted in yourself, right? You're not looking to blend. You're looking to be exactly who you are. And many of you have tapped into yourself in a way that at this point, and I say at this point because this is where you are vibrationally today. This is where you are energetically today. At this point, you can't be moved. You're at a point in your life where you've been able to see beyond the veil. You've been able to see beyond the illusion. And some of you might feel stagnancy in certain aspects of your life, but it's not because you don't have the ability to create. It's not that you don't have the ability to invoke certain changes in your life. It's that the things that once drove you just doesn't anymore. See, once you call you. Let's go ahead and get into this message. Wow, that ended in perfect time, and I didn't even press stop on that today. So, whoever you are, You're operating on another level. You're on another plane of existence. The message for you here is going to be partially about finding that middle ground, because whoever I'm speaking to in this particular message, it's almost like you've left Earth, okay? Follow what I'm saying here. This isn't going to be for everybody for sure. Most people are knee deep in the matrix. But for my outsiders, this is for you, okay? There's an aspect here of being able to find a middle ground, being able to find something that tethers you in a way to where you can still derive benefit, satisfaction, and pleasure from Earth, okay? Again, when you actually see beyond the matrix, when the veil falls, when you see things for what they are and you realize what it is and you see beyond the illusion, because there are so many distractions. This realm is chaotic, and I don't mean that pure chaos energy. I'm not talking about that chaos energy from which all things are possible. No. We're talking about light chaos energy, okay? Chaos energy that comes from the dark is something that you can create infinite possibilities out of, right? It's like that pure creative space. Light comes from dark. But when that which is in the light is chaos, that's a completely different type of chaotic energy, okay? And this particular realm, that is what has been given birth to here. It's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of distractions. It's a lot of interference. Even when you think in terms of the technology of this planet, everything is always done right beneath the nose. So even as I speak right now, it's no telling how many different frequencies are permeating just from technology alone. Not even the technology in my house, just period, around the satellites, the radio frequencies. There are so many signals that are going out all at once that are all over the place that people are not cognizant of, people are not aware of, but we interact with everything. You're not separate from anything, right? So even if you are ignorant of what's going on, even if you're not able to see, even if you're not able to perceive, you're still interacting with these different waves, with these different frequencies. And when we don't have knowledge and awareness of what's going on, then we're more easily able to be influenced or derailed by these frequencies. The thing is, like I'm saying, for those of you who this is for, it's almost like you have a border around you, like you have a bubble around you, okay? And these frequencies that usually permeates the minds and spirits and hearts and bodies of the masses, they're not penetrating you. So there can be an aspect that you feel detached from that which most people desire to have and that which most people seek. Okay. For those of you who this is for, you may be in an aspect of your life where on a deep level, you have everything that you desire. Okay. Perhaps there's nothing physically that you're craving. Now, are you open to better life experience and things flowing to your life? Absolutely. This is not saying that you're not allowing or you wouldn't be open to allowing new things to flow into your life, but you're not attached to what this realm has to offer. It makes me think of the scripture when Yeshua was tested after his 40-day, 40-night fast in the wilderness. And the part where Satan was like, look, bow down to me and I'll give you all of these things. The thing about that is not that it was hard for Yeshua to turn it down. He had no desire for it. He was able to see through that. Why would he want trash? Why would he want something that holds no value? Why would he go for glitter when he can clearly see it's glitter? Now, for most people will read that and see that as a sacrifice, because most people would be the ones, especially as we see in this realm, to bow down and take all of that glitter. Bow down so that they can have the trash that it is that this realm has to offer, right? So for most people, that would be a sacrifice. It would feel like they're giving up something major. But for Yeshua, it wasn't a sacrifice. It was easy peasy. It's like, why would I want trash? I'm clearly looking at what you're offering me. I clearly see that it's trash. Why would I want that? But that's because Yeshua was elevated. Yeshua's eyes was open. Some of you have been on a journey like this yourself, where you've really been in the inner realms of yourself. You've really been seeking solace, truth, understanding, peace, and everything. You've been not only seeking these things within yourself, but you've been finding them. And for some of you, there might be certain things that you really cannot put words to. Perhaps you wouldn't know how to explain certain things with words. Perhaps there's a part of you when you try to get your conscious mind involved that just can't quantify what it is that you have been becoming and what it is that you know and what it is that you've been perceiving. And the thing about this is, again, there's a message of being able to find a middle ground because you're here, right? So how do you live in a realm that you don't have any true desires for? And when I say this, this is, like I said, this isn't going to be for most of y'all. So fret not if you're not relating to this message. Trust me, fret not. But for those of you who this is for, you understand exactly what I'm saying. In the world that we live in, you have most people chasing the cheese. It's like if you put a harness on a mouse and you put a stick in front of them like a fishing pole and you put cheese there and they just keep chasing this cheese that they're never going to reach because that's the way that it's set up. But it's in the rat's nature to chase the cheese. So even though they're not going to technically ever be able to get the cheese, they're going to continue to chase it as long as they can see it. Now, anyone outside of that paradigm will easily be able to see through that whole situation. In this world that we live in, that's what many people are doing. Many people are living as the mouse, just trying to get to that cheese. And all of the distractions are dangled in front of people every day. Even when people think about, okay, well, how do you manifest this? How do you do this? How do you get that? How do I get money? How do I do this? How do I get love? People are chasing all of these things that you would never find outside of yourself. We talk about all the time how the things that come into your life, the things that are manifested into your life, is a reflection of the inside of you. So most people automatically miss this boat because people are constantly seeking things outside of themselves to create something that they haven't found within. That is like chasing cheese on a stick that you're never going to reach it that way. So then once you start to get to a place in your life, and for those of you who this is for, you have, because you've opened that portal of your heart that's infinite. Those of you who have found that place and are finding that place, you're finally exploring that place. You're in there. Everything that gives you satisfaction, you find within. You found a new city. You found a new dimension. You've entered a new portal. you're starting to become very clear about the fact that none of these things would do what the inside of you has been doing. So then it creates this type of detachment, this type of separation from the illusions of this physical realm. So then what do you do from there? What do you do when you're the one person in the world? And of course, you're not the only one, but I say one person because you may be the only person in your physical situation that is outside of the matrix. Of course, there's all of us, some of us here on Patreon, there's multiple ones of us that are that one within a certain vicinity. So when you find yourself as that soul one, as that soul outsider, and there are certain things that you just can't unsee, you can't unknow what you know. You can't bring yourself down to a level of blindness because the veil has been ripped. It reminds me of The Matrix. If y'all haven't watched The Matrix, and or if you haven't seen it in a long time, trust me, watch it. Watch it. Watch it tonight. Find it and watch it. I think they have it on Hulu right now. And I forgot what else they have it on. Watch The Matrix, though. It's this moment where we're talking about taking the red pill or the blue pill. After you take the red pill, you cannot unknow what you know. You can't unsee what you see. It changes everything. You see things for what it is. So then it's like, okay, if I've been spending my whole life buying into this matrix and making my dreams and aspirations and passions dedicated on this matrix, now that that veil has been ripped it off and I have no desire for this illusion, then what do we do from here? This is the question. For those of you who this is for, you're stepping into a completely different level of creation. You're creating that which hasn't been created yet. Not in this realm. Remember, as the Bible tells us, there's nothing new under the sun. So I'm not speaking about in the scheme of eternity. No, everything is everything. Everything is everything. There's nothing that hasn't been done. There's nothing new under the sun. However, we exist in certain space-time realities that there's that limitation. There's several things that we've never seen. Not only in this generation, in this era. Okay. You're existing in a space where it's almost as if you're ready to create a new world. You're ready to create outside of the matrix. Think about if, in human terms, in earth terms, you think about societies that die, new societies are born, nations die, new nations are born, countries die, new countries are born. People in power fall, new people come into power. But it's cycles of this because nothing lasts forever. Everything moves in cycles. Even everything and everyone in every country that is at the top right now, there will be a time that that is no more. Now, for people that is in this time and space, it might seem like, oh no, this country's never going to fall. These people would never fall. But it's not even about these people or that country. What it's about is this is how cycles happen. This is how eternity is eternity and infinity is infinity because it's a constant going in and coming out. It's a constant death and rebirth. This is what keeps everything alive. This is about, I just heard the word because y'all know when I do these daily guides on Patreon, I always like to have short titles. And what I'm hearing for this particular one is genius. Okay. For those of you who this is for, you are now outside of the realm of space and time. You're not even creating within the matrix of time. You're on your own time. You're in a different time frame. Some of you, it's almost as if you're even in a completely different year. Okay? The world is coming into 2024, but you're somewhere else with it. You're not even going to be tied down to the energy of 2024. A lot of what people are going to be experiencing collectively, that has nothing to do with you. And another thing I want to say about that is be very careful about the messages that you take in. For those of you who this message is for, you already are. But there are some of you that's listening to this message because it's resonating on a certain level, because this is what you're getting close to becoming. This is what's happening and unfolding inside of you. And as this process is happening, you have to be very careful to guard yourself, to guard your mind, to guard your heart, to guard your energy. Because you have to know what messages are for you and what messages are not for you. Things can come in the guise of good. Things can come in the guise of resonance, but it really isn't for you, because what aspect of you is it resonating with? Is it resonating with that fear? Is it resonating with that love? Is it resonating with that power? Because there are many things that resonate, but what aspect of you does it resonate with? You don't want to allow people to speak things into your life that has nothing to do with you, and you willfully receive it because it sounds good. So be careful about that, because there's going to be a lot of doom and gloom that people are speaking over 2024. And perhaps it's true for them. Perhaps it's true for certain people, but you don't exist within that realm. You don't exist within that time right now. You've reached a level of mastery. And you know, the craziest thing about this is some of you have mastered this realm. And let me dig and dive into this for a little bit. Some people will see and think like, oh, this person or these people that have certain levels in politics. This person is this person has this level of fame. This person has the biggest mansion on the block. This person has the biggest company ever. These people have dominated the earthly realm as far as material things. People inside the matrix think that means something. Most people inside the matrix will look at that as a level of mastery, not realizing that many of those people, if not all, but I'm just going to say many for the sake of saying many of those people haven't mastered a thing at all, because mastering the matrix means what? Mastering the matrix is equivalent to the person who the devil looked at when he looked at Yeshua and said, look, if you just bow down to me, I will give you all of these things. Now, when I'm speaking what I'm speaking, I want you to take the religious way of thinking out of it, because we're not talking from that perspective. I want you to go a little bit deeper. This is not even me saying these people who have taken all these things, oh, they're evil. They sold their soul to the devil. That has nothing to do with why I'm using that analogy. So please don't think in those terms. Many of those people, I believe, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with them perceiving that they've sold their soul to anything. What it has to do with is their level of blindness and their level of open acceptance to the matrix. It's an illusion. It's like those who are perceived to be masters. You know, this is also making me think of scripture when it says the meek shall inherit the earth. Okay. This is the thing. The power players, the people who are really moving in powerful energy outside of space and time, are unseen. They're hidden. They're the hidden hand. Even when you talk about magic, it's so funny because I was watching one of the Trader episodes. I want to say it was from the UK. And one of the guys on the show is like, I'm a magician. He was saying like how he manipulates people and all these things, you know, like a card trick magician, like those types of magicians. Like, look, I'll pull a rabbit out the hat, that type of magician, right? And it's funny because even when you think about that, right, the power of that type of magic doesn't come from what you see. It's what you don't see where all the power is coming from. So this is the same thing. There are certain people, places, and things that are the face of a lot, but that's not where it is. That's not where the power is coming from. That is all an illusion. It's a distraction. Because even if we face it, what the Matrix will do is it will put outliers in your face. And when I say outliers, I mean outliers of the matrix. I'm not talking about outliers like we're talking about being outsiders. I'm talking about matrix outliers, because if we're keeping it 1,000, 99% of people who live in the matrix, buy into the matrix, and accept the matrix as their paradigm, they would never be or have anything in compared to what those few outliers have that are blasted before the rest of the matrix. And it's like, here, look at what's possible. These people have done it. So can you. And so then those things that are constantly pushed in your face then become like that cheese on the stick that rat is chasing. And that's the reality of most people that are in the matrix unapologetically. And it becomes a distraction because they will never reach that which they're seeking, because it's not designed that way. It doesn't work that way. It's like coming to somebody's house and playing a game, playing hide and seek. You've never been in this house before. It's not your house. It's not your territory. You know nothing about the house, but you think that you're going to come in the house and beat the homeowner. It's honestly not going to work that way. You don't know what traps and hidden doors are in that house. But as soon as you've agreed with it, game over. Game's on you. This is what we're talking about here. For those of you who this is for, you're not creating inside the matrix, you're creating outside of it. Because you tapped into yourself. You tapped into that actual alignment. You tapped into alignment with the divine. You're tapping into the master within. Okay. And it's amazing the things that you're going to create, because the thing about it is you're creating this outside of the game. You're creating this outside of the matrix. You're no longer using the avenues that they told you to take. You're not doing what they told you to do. You're going to be getting this information from another place. It's like you're going to be cracking the code, okay? It's like you're going to be doing things that defy, like, how is this person beating us at our own game? This doesn't make sense. This should not have happened. It's almost a type of energy where you're breaking through in such major ways that there are going to be certain laws that are created. You ever see, like, when certain people and certain groups of people start to become aware of certain things, then all of a sudden the law changed to continue to subjugate those people? It's like, oh, you thought this was just going to set all of y'all free? Okay, maybe a couple of y'all got out, but now we're going to change the law so that's not going to work again for anybody else. This is the type of energy, except for the fact that you're going to be continually doing this. They're going to be this is major, because it's almost like you're about to put the matrix on its toes. Okay? Because as the matrix has been the distraction, you're about to start distracting the matrix, because it's like, wait, who is this person defying the rules of the reality that we created for them to agree with? How are they surpassing this? How are they creating outside of this? This is powerful. I don't know who this is for. I might put this one on YouTube, because this is something else. And it's funny because even as I was doing this, I was actually going to record the 828 podcast, but I had no idea that this message was going to come out. This is literally like an 828 podcast message. If I do post this on YouTube and you're listening and you would like this type of guidance, patreon.com/prettybosstv is where you can find more of where this comes from. When we talk about the portal of the heart is more powerful than any other energy center in your body, including the mind. The mind is very limited. We've talked about this many times. Okay. We've talked about this many times. And when I speak about the mind, I'm not speaking about the infinite mind. I'm speaking about the mind that is in your physical head, the brain. Limited. Limited. I don't care how many books, how many this, how many that, limited. The mind can only regurgitate which it has consumed. When we talk about the infinite mind, we're talking about a realm of infinite possibility, okay? And when we talk about the heart, when we talk about the frequency of love, which if you ask me what love is truth. When we talk about the frequency of that, this is where the power comes from. This is like the engine that works with the infinite mind. You are tapped into that space. You've been devoted to that. Continue to stay devoted. Continue to go within. Continue to do how you are led. But again, we were talking about how do you find that balance when you are no longer attached to anything in this physical reality, when you no longer want that Lambo, when you no longer care about those views, when you no longer care about any of these things that they say is such a great thing to have because you realize it means nothing and it does nothing for you. It doesn't float your boat. It doesn't make you feel happy to get up in the morning. Even if you got $1 million in the bank, that's not driving you. Even if you're getting millions of views, it doesn't drive you because it actually means nothing. In the context of the Matrix, this is the thing. For one, some of you, and this is a very specific message, but some of you need to really eat foods that ground you and connects you to the earth. I know there's many vegans, many vegetarians, and nothing's wrong with that, do you? But some of you need more solid substances that are going to ground you to the earth because you're out of this world. You don't need some of who I'm talking to. You don't need to be a vegan or a vegetarian to be vibrating on a level of light frequency. Everybody's different. Again, like I said, this message isn't for everybody. Some of you are really, really light right now. Some of you are really, really in a completely different realm right now. And one of the things that are going to keep you grounded in physical reality, because we're here, so we need to have that balance between both. We don't want to be way outer space only, right? Certain foods that are a little bit more solid are going to be beneficial for you during this time. Also, if you feel led getting outside, even if you can get out, I know where I'm at is cold in certain parts of the world. But even if you go somewhere, even if you can go somewhere where, let's say you're traveling to a warmer place or you're able to get in water, it's going to be beneficial to you. Also, even just physical activity, right? Things that keeps you rooted in your body. So it could be exercise, stretching, yoga. I mean, whatever it is for you, playing sports. Even I'm hearing pedicures, manicures, things that just makes you feel within your physical body. Okay. It's going to be very beneficial to you during this time. And the thing about it, for those of y'all who've been feeling because I'll say this: when you see beyond the veil of the Matrix, it could be it's this part where it could be like this disappointment, right? It could be a level of discontent because then it can make you feel then like, well, what's the purpose then? But the purpose is that you're meant to create something new here. So that's the reason that you're able to be one of the few that's seeing outside of the Matrix anyway, because you're bringing completely different paradigm and dimension into this time-space reality. You are a vessel that's opening up a completely another portal. And for those of us who this resonates with, you're already within that. We were talking about this in the beginning of the year when I said your heart is a portal. Okay. And I was talking about how there was going to be this heart to heart communication where it's like, as these hearts that are opening, these portals are going to be connecting, and it's almost like we're all connecting to that. It's one portal. It's not separate. So as our hearts are opening, this heart portal is opening. What it's doing is enlarging that entire one portal that we're all connected to, in a sense of those who have been opening up this portal of the heart. You're going to be led to particular things. You're going to be led to particular action, even as there are certain things that you are finding or doing that you're led to do or share. Some things you might not be led to share. Some things you might not be led to do right now. But those things that you're being led to share and do, trust it, because you're the one that's taking, you're taking it there. Okay. You're creating that space. And this is when we get to talking about leadership. Leaders are always outside on the leading edge. Leaders don't follow. Leaders lead. So even as a leader, that comes with certain things, because sometimes, and this is why I believe in strategy, you can do, it's a certain way that you can do things. That's why you have to have your discernment, right? Because there are certain ways to do things. You can be a leader, but you can lead in a certain way to where there's a certain ease and grace about it, right? To where it doesn't have to be so volatile and throw people on their toes, because people don't like change. People are afraid of change. So when you do something outside of the matrix, that shakes people in the matrix up. People don't want to see anything that goes against what they've believed their entire life. People will rather believe a lie than accept truth that questions the reality that they've been, quote unquote, living in their entire life. Because a lot of people fall apart. A lot of people don't know what to do when the veil has been lifted. It's like, well, where do I go from here? If this is not what it is, then my whole life has been in vain. People panic. People panic in the face of truth. So I said that to say you're a leader and you're on the leading edge. And for those of you who this is for, as you remain patient, as you take your time, you're going to see that things unfold very easily and gracefully. And that you'll be able to lead in a way that people are able to keep up with it, in a sense, essentially, due to your presentation of whatever it is that you're presenting. Okay? The thing is, as you are led to create and do certain things and put it out there, do it. Okay? Trust your process, because there are those who are very ready for what you have. And the amount of people that are ready for what you have is way more than you would expect. It's still a very small majority of the masses of the population in general. I want to say they say that it's 8 billion people on the planet. That's what they say. So, from that 8 billion, we're talking less than 1%. But that's still a lot of people who are ready for what you actually have to give. So trust that, because there are many people who are waiting for that next thing. There are many people who feels disconnected from this matrix. Some people are conscious of this. Some people are not conscious of this. Some people just don't understand, where's that motivation? Where's that drive? Where's that determination? Where's my desire to do certain things? It's just not there. Not realizing that's because they're disconnected from the matrix. You're not connected to the matrix, but haven't tapped into that other space of creation just quite yet. But it's here. It's coming. Some will be the leaders of these things. Some of you who I'm speaking about, you're going to be the one creating space for this new creation, essentially, is what I'm saying here. It's bringing down a whole new paradigm. And the thing about it is, that which you have been dealing with in your internal reality, you've been going within, you've been finding the answers within. You're clear about that. You're no longer even a person who really truly looks outside for anything. You're not seeking anything because you've been finding it within. And when you're led to different sources, it's confirming and giving you words to put to that which you've been experiencing and that which you know that you just don't necessarily have words for. This is making me think of Andre 3000's album. Remember, I told y'all we were talking about it, 30 Days Success and Love, and I was talking about how I'm at a stage in my life where I really don't even sometimes care for actual music with words. Like, I like instrumentals. And then lo and behold, a week later, after I said that, Andre drops a new album. And I've been listening to this album, right? I haven't listened to the whole thing. I only listened to maybe the first couple of songs. So the album is called New Blue Sun. All right. That's funny. Think about that. And we're talking about these different realms that we're bringing down. If Andre 3000 heard this message, he would know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, I said that to say New Blue Sun. I said that to say, when I was listening to that album, it's so funny because I almost thought to myself, like, I should do an album review on this album because I have so many ways to, it's like there's no words on the album. Instrumental, he's playing a flute primarily, and I hear it clear as day. No words, yet it's so much being said. So much more being said than most of these albums that are saying a bunch of nothing. So much. Like, it's a different language. And we've been talking about this before too, how I speak about words are limiting. I don't care if Mandarin has 1,000,000 words. I don't care if the English language has 1,000,000 words. That's not enough. It's still very limiting. Even those words that we use keeps you inside of that matrix. You're creating from a different space. And like I said, there are certain things and resources, even for some of you, like this podcast, that you're going to come across that's going to put things into context for you. It's going to give you words. It's going to give you understanding. And even if it's not words, like I said, Andre 3000 doesn't have any words on that album, and it brought a lot of context to exactly that which I've been experiencing. And some of the things are not even my personal experience, but information. Like, there's so much, like, if I did an album review on that, which I don't think I'm going to do that. But I thought about it. I thought about doing something like that on YouTube, like on one of my other channels. I just don't have time for it. I'm doing other things. But there's so much being said on that album with no words. And for many of you, you're going to start to see that you also begin to speak different languages. This is when we talk about communicating on a completely different level. Some people talk about telepathy. Some people think telepathy is like not a telepathy is real. There are certain beings who only communicate telepathically. There are certain people who are telepathic. Something that you can actually tap into to actually do. A lot of times, even the frequencies that we have, the radio frequencies, sound waves, those are a lot of interferences that is like interfering with that natural process that will make it easy for a lot more people to do, right? Some people are still able to do it and bypass those frequencies. Some people are able to bypass those frequencies at certain levels, and maybe they're able to do it at some times and not other times. But more people would easily be able to do that if you take all of those frequencies and waves out. It will be silenced because, again, people are not realizing how many external frequencies are interfering with their mind, their heart, their body, and their spirit. Anyways, like I said, for those of you who transcended the matrix, it's like you have a bubble around you. You're creating from a completely new space, okay? And the thing about it is, as you continue to go within, as you continue to focus on the things that really delight you, what you're going to realize is that you start to feel a certain passion that reemerges. You're going to find yourself in a flow, and it's going to be very fruitful for you. For those of you who this is for, the things of the matrix are going to flow to you easily, if that makes sense. Okay. Especially because that's just not where your focus is. It's so funny because it's almost like we always talk about it. The things that you chase, you push away. You're no longer focused on the things of the matrix. The money, the cars, the clothes, the pros, okay? That just doesn't do it for you. And it's partially because of this that you're going to see that the things of the matrix flows to you easily and in unconventional ways. Finances are going to flow to you very effortlessly in the most peculiar of ways. Even for some of you, as you do what you're doing, you're going to see that you get things given to you. Okay? It's almost like you're going to be provided for. And there are going to be things that you create as well that allows finances to flow also. But even these things that you are going to create are going to be unconventional. They're going to be new things, right? And that's one of the reasons that you're going to be attracting a lot of quote unquote wealth to yourself, because you're going to be creating new things, things that are needed, things that people don't realize that they need. But as soon as it comes online, people going for it because they need it, or certain groups of people need it. Maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe it's not a product that speaks to the masses, but it's a product that speaks to the 1% completely. Okay. This is the thing. You're creating from a powerful space. So it's like when we talk about different things, once things become mainstream, they lose power. Even it's so funny. When I was doing spirituality videos back in the day, that it was not getting views. And then 2 years later, all my views go crazy. Everybody knows Pretty Boss TV now in that space, right? Best believe it. So the thing about it is, when I was doing that, that wasn't even something that was spoken about. And I remember when I would do my meet and greets, people, I would always ask them, I'll ask a few questions. I'm not going to give away my meet and greet things, but I will ask 3 questions. And one of the questions that I'll ask is, how did you find out about Pretty Boss TV? And people will always say the same thing. Well, for one, I'd never seen a person that looks like you speaking about these things, and da-da-da, and the content matter, right? And then also the person that was presenting the content, which was not a popular thing at that time, right? And then now it's so funny because years later, we're 2023 going to 2024, and spirituality is, quote unquote, spirituality is very mainstream. Everybody is this, everybody's that, everybody has these things, everybody's doing these things. It's like something that has been exploited. You can find commercials, you can go to jewelry stores and see certain symbols, certain products that is like, it's mainstream now. And anything that becomes mainstream, that's your indicator that it's already lost its sauce. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Okay? Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that spirituality itself has lost its sauce. No, we know that that which is spiritual, that can't be tainted. But the presentation of spirituality has been made mainstream, and it's been perverted, and it's lost its sauce, it's lost its power. That's why there's a lot of people that are doing certain things or buying certain things, and it's like, well, why isn't this working for me? Because it's just that ain't it. It's lost its power, it's lost its sauce in its presentation. It's become something that is, even, it's so funny because a lot of people will get on religion and say all of these things about quote unquote religious people, but quote unquote spirituality has been turned into a religion at this point. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Even when you think about certain religion in the context of sacred text, these are things that have been taken as actual foundational truths that have power attached to them, that has been made mainstream in form of different religions, that takes away the power from the actual essence of the original message. And now people are not able to tap into what it was even created for. Hence, running around the matrix looking crazy. You're going to have deep success inside out. Okay. Inside out success. And there's another message that some of you have a particular soulmate that will come into your life. And when this person comes into your life, you're both going to know it. This is not going to be something that you go back and forth about. Some of you are dealing with probably a person. It could be a good person that you're dealing with. But when the person that's for you comes into your life, because you're starting to tap into that space and time, y'all are both going to know. Okay? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. This is going to be something that is so deep that you won't even necessarily need to make a marriage of it. You might decide to, why not, right? But this is going to be something that is like, you don't even need marriage to prove this, because it is what it is. You're going to see, this person's going to just show up in your life. Okay. And as I said, both of y'all are going to know. And both of y'all live in the same realm. You live in the same space. The person that is for you, you're going to be equally yoked with. It's not going to be somebody who's living in the matrix. Just period. Okay. And for some of you, also, we've been talking about moving and things of that nature. Some of you, whatever your situation is right now, whether it's where you live, whether it's where you work, whether it's a particular relationship, even if it's like a certain health issue, it's all temporary. Okay. This is already on the way out of here. You can already start focusing towards what's coming if you desire. It's going to give you power for you to focus on that which is coming for you. Even we talked about last night on 30 Days to Success, it was about visualization. And I spoke about how do you bypass the subconscious mind. Just like I've been talking about taking out words, take out pictures. Tap directly into the feeling, to the energy, to the feeling space of a thing. That's how you bypass the conscious mind. Because that's where we create from. Even when you think about life, you think about a person who's always depressed, they continue to have more depressing moments. A person who worries, that's an emotion. You're going to have more things that show up in your life that makes you worry. It doesn't matter the specifics of how the manifestation occurs. Whatever comes up is going to make you worry more. If you're an angry person and that's your predominant space, you're going to see that the things that show up in your life make you angry. It doesn't matter the specifics of what it is making you angry. It's the fact that it all has the same common denominator of how it makes you feel. So you don't need details particularly. Now, if there are certain feelings that you're tapping into and certain images are coming to you, that's powerful, because now these things are taking form and you're seeing them be created out of the energy, the emotion, that emotional space that you've harnessed. This is the thing. This is what I'll also end with. For one, whoever this is for, you've been devoted to that inner. Okay. You've sacrificed a lot of the outside things. Some of you have even taken chances with, you know what, my mind is telling me to do this, but my heart is telling me to do this, and I'm going to continue to go within. My mind is telling me I need to do this and this to take care of myself. I got this. I got these things going on. I got to do all of these 3D things. But y'all have been believing in that which is inside of you. You've been following your heart. You've been devoted to that alignment. You've been devoted to that path. You've been devoted to co-creating with the Most High, with God, the divine. You've been committed to that. You've been putting that before everything. You've been sacrificing the physical things in order to achieve that. Just as Yeshua did. He said, "Get ye behind me, Satan." We're not doing that, bro. You think I'm dumb? You think I don't see you? I do. I'm not interested. Take it to the next matrixer because I don't want it. And because of this, as I said, many of you are going to be teaching certain things. Many of you are natural born teachers, and you're going to teach in different ways. Teaching is not just about getting on a mic. It's not about writing a book. You're teaching your everyday example. You can be a teacher as how you carry yourself at the grocery store. When I'm talking about teachers, I'm not actually saying that you need to teach a class or have a group of disciples, but you are a leader and you will be teaching in your everyday life experience. Okay. And some of you, yes, this will be physically teaching in certain direct, more explicit ways. The thing is, you've made the leap. You're not in the matrix. And what you've been experiencing, and some of you, like I said, that disconnect or that level of apathy that you may have felt just in regards to the conditions. This is going to shift because you're going to be creating from a new space. Okay? And you're going to see that motivation and passion and all of these things flow back to you as you learn to live in and accept the new reality that you've been creating. It's almost like creating and experiencing at the same time. This is what we do when we dream, right? When you dream, your mind is creating a complete reality. But it's like you're experiencing it at the same time. It's happening simultaneously. This is the level of creation that you're coming into now in your life because you're creating outside of the matrix. The matrix is no longer the thing that's creating for you. You're no longer dead following a program, but you create. And you create from a pure, authentic space, from a free space, from an independent space, something that's independent from what the matrix told you to create. You're going to experience happiness, success, love, and joy in your life in ways that you just haven't. Ways that the matrix could never provide for you. The matrix can only do so much. The only thing the matrix can do is keep you asleep. It's almost like Cypher on the Matrix, the dude who's like, I know the steak isn't real, but I want the steak. That's all the Matrix is gonna do for you. Nothing, right? It'll let you happily live in fantasy land, and I say happy quote unquote because that's not even real happiness. It's an illusion. That's why you'll see most people who have all of these things are some of the most miserable people. Okay, not everybody, but a lot of the people who you see, these quote unquote famous people, these quote unquote celebrities, these quote unquote all these other whatever politicians, and a lot of these people are miserable. Go to some of the most wealthy cities. I'm not gonna talk about a specific city right now, but I can tell you from experience, like those be some of the most miserable people. It's like ain't this supposed to be the richest city in the state? What y'all so miserable for? Like that's wild. Ain't y'all supposed to be the most popping in the South? Why the bad energy? I thought you would be happy because you have all of these things, right? Don't all of everybody over here have all of these things? Why the sad face? Because that ain't it. It's an illusion. And the only thing left is for people in the matrix to keep up with the Joneses and impress each other when really it's like drowning in a cup of water. That's the same thing. I'm gonna end this because this is really long. But it makes me think of like if you've ever been from a small city, and small cities you'll see where it's like people tend to do the same thing. So it's like it'll be the smallest city, but it's like that person in the city that's like that person. Everybody know they popping in the city. And they doing everything to impress people in the city, but it's like this is the smallest place. Like, don't nobody know you outside this city. Like, ain't nothing really happening. Like, you impressing. This is really for no reason. Like, this doesn't even mean anything. But it's so funny because we can say that to a small city, but you can take that to period. You can take that to okay. Let's say everybody know you in the state. Okay, what is that to every other state? Let's say everybody know you in the country. What is that to every other country? Well, let's say everybody know you in this world. What is that to the cosmos? It even at the quote unquote larger levels of the matrix, it's still drowning in a cup of water. It means nothing. Who are you in the spirit realms? Who knows your name there? Are you a force to reckon with there? What type of wealth have you created within that exists there? That transcends time, space, reality. Many of that which people are fighting for on this earth, when they leave and depart from this physical body, those things will be no more. Even certain people who have built quote unquote legacies, those legacies will be remembered no more after certain amounts of time and generations. You're creating from a space of truth. And you're going to see things in your life just happen in ways that to other people it's going to look like miracles. But this is the realm that you're creating from. And you're going to get very comfortable with this. And like I said, you're going to find that peace, happiness, and joy that may have been lacking for quite some time because you've been detoxing from the matrix. You feel me? It's a sad thing. Like, I don't even want to say it's a sad thing. It's a great thing. But what I mean by that is it's a process. When that veil rips off, then it's like, whoa. So now what? And whatever that feels like for you, that's what you who this video for has been dealing with. But you're about to step on the other side of that, where you fully embrace how it feels outside the matrix, and you learn how to live in that space and create from that dimension. It's like you're in the 1% of those who are on this planet right now. And like I said, it's really less than 1%. This isn't going to resonate with everybody, trust me. Some of you, this may resonate with years from now. Some of you, it could be months. But some of you, it would never, right? But for many of you, and especially for those of y'all who are on Patreon, and even for those who hear this on YouTube, think about how many people are even going to hear this message in the first place. And then look at those numbers of views and think about how many people from those views that this actually resonates with. Not because they want it to, but because it does, and they know exactly what I'm saying. This is an 828 all day. But I'm going to close it out with them daily guy vibes. Whoever this is for, one, you're very loved. Your soul, very loved. And everybody's loved. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, just know you're loved and you're needed. Okay? Trust that which is that you're led to do, that you're led to create. Don't look back towards the matrix. Ain't nothing there. You already know what the matrix has to offer. For some of you, you've already manifested all the material things that either now or at one point in your life that you ever wanted. You already did that. You already know that. You already know that it really doesn't do much. It really doesn't mean much. It didn't change your life the way that you thought that it would. And you realize, like, they lied once again. And now you're so filled within yourself because of the devotion that you've had to that alignment, to the devotion that you've had to the divine, to the higher realms, to God. And you're about to experience life in terms of freedom and what it really means to be free, what it really means to not be a slave of the matrix. You're about to live as a free man, as a free woman, with eyes that can actually see for the first time. All good things coming your way. The matrix is no longer a factor for you. Have a blessed day, week, weekend, wherever you are. If you would like more messages like this, come join the family on patreon.com/PrettyBossTV. Until next time, peace.